WCBD TV2 in Charleston.
Good afternoon, I'm Bill Fitzgerald. Joan Mack is off tonight.
One storm is gone, but another is headed our way. It's already raining in some areas. We'll have a live report straight ahead. High winds created whiteout conditions in the Sierra today. We'll have a report from the mountains. Governor Wilson was sworn in today with some poignant words about the direction the Golden State is headed. And a rookie running back scores 3 times, adding an exclamation point to a satisfying afternoon at the stick. Those stories, all the news on this Saturday night, January 7th, 1995.
Live from KTVU, this is the award-winning 10 o'clock news on Channel 2, the #1 primetime newscast in the country.
Good evening, I'm Leslie Griffith. It is 1 down and 2 to go. The second of 3 storms forecast for this weekend is...
Channel 2 News. The 11 o'clock report, an expanded edition because of the newspaper strike, with Rollins Smith and Vic Miles.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rollins Smith. Here's what's happening.
Where local news comes first. TV3, KATC, Lafayette. And now, from the heart of Acadiana, Action 3 News at 10.
It's being called a major victory for President Clinton. The U.S. House tonight has passed NAFTA.
Also tonight, a dramatic breakthrough in diagnosing and treating cancer.
You're watching Action 3 News at 10. With Bill Leger, Deborah Terraville-Pooler, meteorologist Nelson Robinson, and Mac McCullough with sports. This is where local news comes first.
Monday at 9.
Good evening, I'm Cheryl Brown.
This is News Center 4, the 11 p.m. edition with John Schubeck, Stu Nahan Sports, Pat Sajak Weather, and Robin Groth with a Nightside Report. Now here is John Schubeck.
Thank you very much, Don Stanley. Good evening, everybody. The death toll continues to climb tonight.
With clear, accurate coverage. This is WCCO 4 News, the hometown team.
Hello, I'm Amelia Santinello.
And I'm Don Shelby. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Now, Don Shelby, Amelia Santinello, weather with Paul Douglas, and Mark Rosen on sports. You're watching WCCO 4 News, the hometown team.
You're watching KSL Television, Channel 5, Salt Lake City, Utah. This is the #1 Eyewitness News at 6, the news specialists.
A Weber State University administrator is battling to stay out of prison.
Fox 5 Atlanta. Your 6 o'clock news. Fox 5 News starts now.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Ram in for Amanda Davis.
And I'm Russ Spencer, first on Fox 5 tonight.
With Jeff Gianola and Kelly Day. This is Coin 6 News at 11. Live from Coin Center, you're watching Coin 6 News at 11 with Jeff Gianola, Kelly Day, and Captain Warren Petrie in News Chopper 6. Coin 6 News. People make the difference.
WATE TV6, Knoxville. Taking you to where people live and news is made. This is TV6 Live Eyewitness News.
Good evening to you. I'm Sam Brown.
And I'm Ann Rollins.
From Channel 7, San Francisco, here is the Sunday Night News with Bob Dunn.
Good evening.
Live from South Florida's news station, WSVN 7. This is 7 News at 6 o'clock.
Good evening.
evening, everyone. Lynn Martinez in for Jessica tonight. The worst brush fire season since 1990.
This is KFMB TV, San Diego. News 8 at 5 with Hal Clement, Susan Peters, Lauren Nancaro, and Ted Leitner. News 8, San Diego's #1 source for news.
Good evening. Our top story at 5 o'clock, another crash involving an American Eagle commuter plane.
Channel 8, Indiana's #1 news station.
Good evening. Lately, their numbers have grown.
From Colorado's news leader, Ed Sardella, Adele Arakawa, meteorologist Mike Nelson, Paula Woodward, and Ron Zappolo Sports. This is 9 News.
Good evening. I'm Adele Arakawa.
And I'm Ed Sardella.
This is Eyewitness News with Maureen Bunyan.
Good evening. 2 passenger trains collided this evening in Seabrook, Maryland.
CFTO TV, Channel 9 in Toronto, Cable 8. Night Beat News with Bill Hutchison and Jennifer Ward.
Good evening. Jennifer Ward is off this evening. Canadian industrialist.
KFDA TV 10, Amarillo. Live from the 4-State News Authority, Walt Howard, Kerry King, meteorologist Dave Oliver, John Holcomb Sports. This is KFDA News Nightcast.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. The
WCAU TV, Channel 10, Philadelphia.
Larry Kane, Deborah Knapp, Jim Kelly, and Herb Clark. The Channel 10 News, live at 11.
Good evening. A suspected IRA gun runner twice convicted of murder in
KST Washington.
Live from KST Washington, this is the 10 o'clock news.
Good evening again. The 6th and most serious coup attempt against Philippine President Corazon Aquino appears to be fizzling.
Thursday, May 8th, and tonight complaints that President Carter is opening our country to a relentless flood of Cuban refugees. The Pentagon defies demands to explain completely what happened in the Iran rescue mission and the Tito funeral in Yugoslavia.
Also tonight, a judge rules a former medical examiner was fired unjustly. Melanie Haller tells her rape story to the grand jury, A Night with Bob Hope, and Death of a Princess, a film that's caused an international incident.
In action sports, the Islanders go for the clincher and a major upset at Forest Hills.
And Carl Reiner directs a comedy, The Roast, on Broadway, and I'll have my review.
This is Channel 11 Action News with Pat Harper, Bill Jorgensen, Jerry Gerard, and the award-winning Action News team.
Good evening. Politicians from several states tonight are...
First in Alaska, Kimberly Van Scoy, Steve McDonald, Vicki Greenland, weather, and Tom Miller, sports. Now, Eyewitness News 11.
Good evening. I'm Kimberly Van Scoy.
And I'm Ray Ettrich.
You're watching KCOI TV News Watch 12, the Central Coast's most comprehensive report of today's local and regional news with Dave Hefferly, Susan Cluffley, Jim Barrick with the weather, and Tim O'Leary with sports.
Good evening. San Luis Obispo city officials were in...
WSFA Channel 12, Montgomery.
Live from Alabama's news source, this is WSFA News 12, the 10 o'clock report. With Bob Howell. Weather with Rich Thomas. And with sports, Phil Snow.
Good evening, I'm Bob Howell, and this is the news for Tuesday, May 2nd. Rescue workers...
The Pierre Burton Show Revisited, Sunday at 6:30.
Saturday, July 13th. A judge rejects arguments more firefighters are needed in Montreal. The Live Aid concert gets rave reviews from Montrealers. Good evening, I'm Herb Luft, and this is Pulse. Dick Irvin has sports tonight, and Rod Charlebois has the Sunday weather.
Should be a scorcher for tomorrow, although we'll cool off just a little bit with some thunder showers throughout the day.
Channel 13 KCOP Los Angeles, a Chris Kraft television station. From Los Angeles, News 13 with Tim Malloy, Wendy Rutledge, sports with Mike Chamberlain, and Mike McKay's weather.
Good evening and welcome to News 13. At the top of our news.
Live from WJZ 13, you've got Baltimore's favorite news team. Now, Eyewitness News.
An eerie night from the WJZ Tower cam.
From Fox Television, this is the Fox 13 6 o'clock news.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm John Wilson.
And I'm Kelly Ring. And first on Fox tonight, some new information on...
This is KGWC News Channel 14 at 10 with Greg Flatiger, Chris Emig with weather, and Josh Earl with sports. News Channel 14 at 10 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Greg Flatiger. Thank you for joining us.
From Channel 14 News, this is Newswatch.
Good evening, I'm David James.
And I'm Ann Comas.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas tardes. Feliz viernes. Les saluda con muchísimo gusto Regina Guillén.
Live, this is News Channel 15. News from people who know Fort Wayne. Now, Ellen Akins, Joe Gregory, weather specialist Sandy Thompson, and sports with Randy Schiffman. This is News Channel 15 at 6.
The Huntington County Sheriff denies tighter law enforcement security.
From the KTGF studios in Great Falls, Joe May Barker reporting. Devin Swain with weather. And Ron Brewski with sports. This is News 16.
Good evening, I'm Jo May Barker. A judge in the state of New Hampshire.
Now, from Jackson's Emmy Award-winning station, this is 16 WAPT News at 10.
Hello, everybody. I'm Gene Edwards.
And I'm Katina Rankin. Our lead story tonight.
You're watching Gene Edwards, Katina Rankin, sports director Rick Whitlow, and meteorologist David Hartman. Next Rad 16 Doppler weather on 16 WAPT News.
We're working a breaking news story this evening.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. Now, from Kern Golden Empire Television, 17 News at 11.
Hard, but, you know, we've got to do what you got to do.
You're watching 17 News at 11 with Galen Young, My Doe, George Lindsay Young Weather, and Todd Strain Sports. 17 News at 11.
You're watching WJKS, Channel 17, home of Newswatch Jacksonville. News with Debbie Ferraro and Doug McElway. AccuWeather with Kathy Turner. Sports with Irv White. And now, Newswatch Jacksonville.
The tax for tolls issue generates heavy voter turnout in Jacksonville, and our pollsters come up with a big surprise. Good evening, I'm Debbie Ferraro.
And I'm Doug McElway.
And now, your local Fox 18 9 o'clock news with Carrie Phillips, meteorologist Chris McGinnis, and Libby Allison with sports.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. First on Fox, the East Moline.
First,
on Fox.
A Charlotte child is fighting for his life after being hit by a police car.
Some flight attendants say they're not being treated fairly in the wake of the airline bailout.
And the war on terrorism could mean a new war on drugs.
Charlotte's Fox 18 News at 10 starts now.
Tonight, doctors and families are anxiously waiting to...
You're watching the fastest growing newscast in the state of Ohio. You're watching 19 Action News at 11.
And good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Denise DeFala.
And I'm David Whitman. Breaking news off the top tonight.
Now live from the Tri-Cities, this is Keeper News Watch at 6. You are watching Keeper News Watch at 6 with Ed Dawson, Jennifer Carlman, meteorologist Fred Rixey, and Will Lewis Sports.
You're watching WHOI, Peoria, Bloomington. This is 19 Eyewitness News at 6 from your news source in the heart of Illinois.
Good evening. Are Peoria students graduating from high school with the know-how needed to get ahead in the workforce?
WCOV-TV, Channel 20, Montgomery.
This is Newsroom 20 at 5, Montgomery's first look at news, sports, and weather.
Good afternoon again, everybody. I'm Kim Wanis reporting.
You're watching WICS News Channel 20, coverage you can count on.
Our top story at 6.
You're watching News Channel 20 with Don Hickman, Susan Finson, Chief Meteorologist Gus Gordon, and Andrew Tobish with sports.
A confidential insurance contract is...
Now, your local news on Central Oregon's News Channel 21 at 6.
Firefighters work to contain a wildfire burning east of Prineville. Good evening, I'm Molly Hendrickson.
First at 10, this is Carolina's Fox 21. The news begins now. Connie LeGrand, Cree Craig, Mike Harvey with the weather, and Keith Skripek on sports. You're watching the Fox 21 10 o'clock news.
33 young ladies are competing in Spartanburg for the title of...
From Arkansas's own WB 2249, this is the News at 9. Tim Jernigan Sports, meteorologist Mark Frankham's forecast. First with the news, Tamara Henry and Doug Cryle.
An eyewitness testifies that she saw Roy John Dobie Tester kill his parents.
Good evening. In the news tonight.
Live from the heart of the Coastal Empire in Low Country, this is ABC 22 News, your local news source, with anchors Betsy Nolan and Shawnette Wilson. Weather with AMS certified meteorologist Jeff Kirk, and sports with Brady Posick. ABC 22 News at 11, your local news source. We'll be right back.
Kern County. This is 23 News at 11.
There are a few details tonight surrounding Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger's new state budget proposal.
23 News. People you can count on. Now, live, 23 News at 6.
Local company is hoping a new website will drive up employment in the state line. From 23 News, that's our top story on this Wednesday, May 28th, 2003.
The people you count on. This is KC24 News at 11.
Where your news comes first. This is Fox 24 News at 10.
Oh, it's great. It's like...
You're watching Channel 25, Richland, Pasco, Kennewick. And this is News Center 25 with Cor Harlan and Tom Moore Sports.
And now, News Center 25.
Good evening, everyone.
You're watching News 25, where news comes first.
Good evening, I'm Brad Bird. Our top story.
You're watching News 25 at 6 with Brad Bird, meteorologist Wayne Hart, and First Warning Doppler Radar, and sports with Mark Ashola. This is News 25 at 6, where news comes first. Join News 25 daybreak, weekday mornings at 6 on News 25, where news comes first.
You're watching KMPH Fox 26. And now, the Valley's only primetime newscast. This is the KMPH 10 o'clock news.
It certainly is not the final chapter in the...
You're watching the Valley's only primetime newscast with John Mallows, J.T. McLiver, Kobe Soteropoulos with weather, and Ralph Woods sports. The KMPH 10 o'clock news will continue in a moment. Today's allergy report is brought to you by Dr. Boz from Boz Allergy and Asthma Center.
Live from Georgia Carolina's news leader, this is WAGT News at 11. You're watching WAGT News at 11 with Tracy Atwood, meteorologist Brooke Foster, and Darren Wernick Sports. We're Georgia Carolina's news leader, WAGT News.
You love it, KLDO-TV. You love it, KLDO-TV. You love it.
Good evening, I'm Randy Kent.
And I'm Dot Pedersen. Laredo and the nation pause today.
WHTM, TV 27, Harrisburg. From the heart of Pennsylvania, here's Jim Morris with tonight's news. The Janelle Stelson Weather Outlook. And the John Reppert Sports Report. This is 27 News Tonight.
Good evening. Authorities have released the name of a Cumberland County woman they believe was murdered.
You're watching ABC 28, awarded #1 newscast in Texas for the 3rd straight year. This is ABC 28 News at 6. ABC 28, where news comes first. You're watching ABC 28 News at 6. Bill Maddox has your news. With award-winning anchor Carla Leslie. Chief Meteorologist Ron Roberts forecasts your weather. And Texas Tech graduate Jeff Lillicoch has your sports. ABC 28, where news comes first.
Now, live from the News Channel, this is WBRE-TV's Eyewitness News Nightcast.
Vince said it would be like this. This is slow, slippery going as snow falls in much of northeastern and central Pennsylvania.
From 29, the Eyewitness News Station. Live. 29 Eyewitness News at 11 starts right now.
5 pounds of methamphetamine are...
You're watching 29 Eyewitness News. Dawn Clark. Monica Dean. Sports with Greg Kern. And weather with meteorologist Miles Buzio. 29 Eyewitness News at 11. 4029, your hometown news starts now.
The Diamond Hog getting geared.
KFSN TV, Fresno.
Good evening, I'm LeBaron Taylor.
Live from WAWS, this is Fox 30 News, first at 10.
Good morning, I'm Paige Kelton.
And I'm Kyle Meenan.
From KDVR's News and Technology Center, this is Fox 31 News at 9 o'clock.
Coming up on WMBD News at 6, Caterpillar and the UAW continue their dispute over the union's latest contract proposal. Also, welfare reform moves forward in the Illinois legislature, and we'll tell you about a special gift from some East Peoria elementary students to one of their classmates.
You're watching WMBD TV 31, Peoria, Bloomington. Now, news with Bob Larson and Shelley Dankoff. This is the 6 p.m. edition of WMBD News.
Good evening, everyone. Caterpillar and the United Auto Workers.
News for Northeast Georgia. This is News Channel 32 at 6.
Good evening, I'm Chuck Moore. Here's what...
From WFLD in Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at 9.
Hi, everybody. I'm Robin Brantley. Chris Long is off this evening.
Aquí comienza Noticias Univisión 33 a las 5.
Muy buenas tardes y bienvenidos. Les saluda Joana Molina. Mari Rábago se encuentra de vacaciones. Empezamos.
The NBC 33 weather line, 420-TV33. This is NBC 33 News at 6.
The Grand Wayne Center is a step closer to expanding. Good evening, everyone. I'm Linda Jackson. We'll hear from Jim Bailey later on this evening.
WTVX, Fort Pierce, Stewart, Vero, and the Palm Beaches. And now, WTVX News, a comprehensive report and analysis of today's major news events. With Jim Holmes, Anita Boyd, weather with Chris Farrell, and Steve Yavner Sports.
The spread of citrus canker prompted state officials.
Near tonight, still searching for signs of Saddam. A local man was shocked at the sudden jump in his phone bill. And Broome detectives want to know if you have seen this man. It's all straight ahead on News Channel 34, 11 at 11.
Now, coverage you can count on. News Channel 34, 11 at 11.
Good evening, I'm Erin Logan.
I'm Steve Craig. We begin 11 nonstop minutes of news with the status of Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein.
You're watching News Channel 34, 11 at 11. Coverage you can count on with Steve Craig, Erin Logan, meteorologist Derek Hayton, and John Elhart on sports.
Tonight, first on the Central Coast, Fox 35 News, first at 10.
The Catholic Church trying to heal wounds of the past and look to the future. Good evening.
WLIO Lima. Now, from your West Central Ohio news leader, WLIO NBC Lima. This is News Journal at 11.
An Amber Alert means a child is missing, but when should it be used and how should they respond? Good evening, I'm Gil Herrick.
You're watching KXAM TV 36, your 24-hour news service. This is News 36 at 6.
Police arrest nearly 70 men accused of committing sex crimes in a neighborhood park. Good evening, everyone. For years, folks...
You're watching KXAM News 36 at 6. With Ron Olivator, Sally Holiday, field anchor Robert Hadlock, Jim Spencer with First Warning Weather, and Roger Wallace with sports.
A Central Texas community is in a building boom, and it's attracting retirees. And a new drug could mean an end to insulin shots for diabetics. Those stories when News 36 continues.
Now, Fox News at 10 on WFTX TV.
Good evening, I'm Pete Scoville. Here's what's happening right now on Fox News at 10. A Lee County woman says she was only protecting her pet.
You're watching Fox 38 News at 10 with Dawn Sterling.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Dawn Sterling. First on Fox tonight.
Now, the 7 o'clock news on UPN 38.
Today, Acting Governor Jane Swift
No se mueva que ya da inicio. Zona 39. Los cerrados y enfurecidos vecinos de Alejandra Sánchez piden justicia.
Y las invasiones en residencias continúan en aumento. ¿Qué puede hacer usted para prevenir ser una víctima?
Además, justo o no, Jessica Williams será enjuiciada nuevamente.
Y Saddam Hussein reta al presidente George W. Bush. Le diremos en qué consiste el desafío.
Y Michael Jackson continúa en el ojo del huracán e inicia la guerra contra una televisora inglesa.
Desde nuestros estudios en Las Vegas, esta es Zona 39, su nueva visión informativa.
Gracias por acompañarnos este martes en Zona 39.
Hoy los vecinos de Alejandra Sánchez.
From South Florida's most experienced news team, this is WB39 News at 10.
The U.S. Supreme Court is the latest apparent target of anthrax terrorists. Officials say bacteria has turned up at a facility which provides mail to the High Court. Good evening, everyone. I'm Julia Yarbo. My co-anchor Micah Ullman has been following the day's developments.
You're watching WGTV TV Springfield. Now, from your home for live local news, Western Massachusetts news leader. This is News 40 at 6.
A local man in court charged with brutally murdering.
News 40, your home for live local news. With Dave Madsen, Eileen Curran, Tom Bavakwa's weather, and Mike Rattay's sports.
A 37-year tradition in Holyoke is coming to an end.
Did the U.S. airstrike kill Saddam? A new Osama bin Laden tape calling for revenge. Should convicted drug offenders get financial aid for college? Some BCC students say yes. Plus a firefight in Endicott. The mayor versus the paid firefighters. You're watching Fox 40 News at 10.
Good evening. I'm Larry Sperano.
And I'm Sue Neubauer. Thank you for joining us.
Now, the news at 10 with Don Schroeder, Loretta Harris, meteorologist Tammy Garrison, and David Sullivan with sports.
Good evening, I'm Loretta Harris.
And I'm Don Schroeder. A pilot who survived a plane crash Sunday morning is being called a hero tonight.
You're watching WOTV ABC 41, Cable Channel 4.
This portion of 41 News is brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. For Battle Creek and Kalamazoo, this is your local news with Tim Malone and Romaine Buck. Local weather with Pam Lamb and sports highlights with Ken Hyde on 41 News. News from where you live.
Welcome back, everyone.
This is 42 Daily News. It's about time.
A wild and crazy night in Birmingham when a video store robbery turns into a high-speed chase. Hello, I'm Sherry Jackson. Also tonight, a document-shredding incident at the Birmingham School Board draws attention from the police.
I'm meteorologist Ben Smith. Gorgeous weather across the southeastern U.S. right now, but will it last for the holiday weekend? Find out coming up.
But first, shotgun blasts in an airport send 2 people to the hospital, plus treating the lazy eye condition, and Blaine takes the plunge. You're watching 42 Daily News. Good evening. Tonight, a community is in shock. Friends.
We're your station. This is the KPTM Fox 42 News at 9.
A couple makes a shocking discovery at a Council Bluffs cemetery.
This is Channel 43 News Final. Marty Sullivan reporting. The Senate has voted to give the Reagan administration a green light to spend a record $136.5 billion on defense during the fiscal 1982.
This is Fox 43's 10 o'clock news.
A grieving family tries to make sense out of a teenage girl's murder. Good evening, I'm John King.
And I'm Elizabeth Dionne.
It's 10 o'clock. Time for Fox 43 News at 10. Your number one source for local primetime news.
Someone may die for the lack of communications.
You're watching Fox 43 News at 10. The Early Advantage with Evan Forrester, Sandra Bennett, Jim Buchanan with weather, and Tom Wormy with sports.
Tornadoes ripped through parts of the Midwest, leaving death and destruction in their wake.
And sexual abuse charges are filed against a religious leader in Owensboro. Those stories are next on CBS 44 News at 5.
CBS 44, WEVV, your home for news. Now your first look at today's news and weather.
Good evening, everyone. I'm John Dopkin.
And I'm Angie Humphrey. After a night of terror today.
You're watching CBS 44 News at 5 with John Dopkin, Angie Humphrey, Chief Meteorologist John Lutzel, and Adam Alexander Sports.
Kentucky tourism professionals are putting their heads together to create.
You're watching Florida's Superstation. Now, Barbara Callahan, Sean Summer, Wendy Ross, Bob Alvarez. 44 News at 10.
Looking for answers from the Amtrak crash in...
Ahora, Notivisión 45, el noticiero más visto en Houston.
Muy buenas tardes, les saluda Beatriz de Alvarado.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Yo soy Roberto Represa, la policía de Houston.
You're watching ABC 45. Live from the ABC 45 newsroom, this is the weekend edition for Sunday, January the 17th.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Trey Hardison. Thanks so much for staying up with us. Coming up on the ABC 45 News Weekend Edition.
From CBS Atlanta, WGNX 46. This is CBS Atlanta News at 11.
It's really bad.
You're watching KION 46, your eye on the Central Coast. Now, news that hits home. KION News 46 at 6:30.
More problems for the Catholic Church. Thanks for keeping it on KION. I'm Brian Special.
And I'm Rosalinda Roman.
You're watching UPN 47 News at 6:30 with Russell Motley, Paige Kelton, weather with Bob Allen, and Drew Spire on sports. Live from WTEV Jacksonville, this is UPN 47 News at 6:30.
Well, not one, but two water...
You're watching KGPE. Now, News 47 for the Central Valley. News 47 at 11.
More cattle will undergo testing for mad cow disease.
Los comentarios ofensivos del congresista por Utah James Hansen sobre los puertorriqueños.
WAFF 48, Huntsville, Decatur, Shoals, the Tennessee Valley News Channel. Now with news from the Shoals to Sand Mountain, with newsrooms in Huntsville, Decatur, and Florence. This is the Tennessee Valley News Channel at 5. You're watching the Tennessee Valley News Channel with Tom Kennemer, Jeanette Smith, meteorologist Jay Prater, and Mark Thornhill Sports. This is the Tennessee Valley News Channel.
I'm Frank Spelny. Coming up on UPN 48 News at 10. Giving is down, revenues are off, but not for one nonprofit CEO. I'm Jeff Barn. Also coming up, are we setting ourselves up for deja vu all over again? Tonight, we take a look at national insecurity and what happens when the Secret Service gets separated from the president.
Then, why police are warning the elderly to be on the lookout. Good evening, everyone. Here's what's happening.
Now, Fox 49 News at 10.
Does this former Oregon man look like an international spy? The Russians think so, and they've sentenced him to a hefty prison sentence. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Fisher.
And I'm Janelle Wang. Eric Schmidt has a night off. Welcome.
Straight ahead on the news at 10, lawmakers back in the capital city. The countdown to the 2000 session is on. One of the biggest battles, trying to reduce property taxes, plus taking radar detectors off the radar screen, a move to ban them in Florida. Your first news at 10 on Fox 49 starts right now.
First, with tonight's local news, this is Fox 49 News at 10.
And good evening. First on Fox, get ready for the hustle and bustle to return to downtown Tallahassee. The start of the
49 News at 10.
Good evening. I'm Jana Corey.
And I'm Matt Brennan. Thanks for joining us.
49 News with the 49 News team. Jana Corey, Matt Brennan, Chief Meteorologist Matt Miller, and Sports Director Nick Griffith. 49 News at 10.
Straight to the point. This is the UPN 50, 10 o'clock news.
A 9-year-old fights to live after police say a 13-year-old stabbed her behind this house. The story is breaking right now. We'll take you live to the scene. An explosive discovery at Detroit Police Headquarters. Cops find a bomb in a briefcase. Was it planted or a hoax? We'll get the straight facts. Teddy bears and tears. Only on 50, a 6th grader remembered after a sudden accident takes her life. New information about that doomed American Airlines jetliner. Tonight, what the tower heard moments before impact. The news starts now. Straight to the point. Child's play has taken a terrifying turn on Detroit's west side.
A 9-year-old is critically stabbed. Her 13-year-old neighbor is suspected of doing it. It's tonight.
You're watching News Watch 50 at 6 with John Moore, Andrea Pedrick, Jay Donovan with Storm Team Weather, and Jamie Say Sports. This portion of the news brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
The KUSI News at 11 is live now. I'm Paul Bloom.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Live from San Diego's More local news station. Paul Bloom, Kimberly Hunt, John Coleman Weather, Michael Turco, and Paul Rudy Sports. This is the KUSI News at 11.
The Senate's new immigration reform bill is already facing bipartisan opposition.
Talks continue as Philadelphia public school teachers vote to authorize the strike. Thanks for watching your Neighborhood Connection Philly TV News. I'm Maurice Brown. Well, it was standing room only at the LaCora Center this morning.
Coming up tonight on the Fox 53 10 o'clock news, downtown Pittsburgh takes another hit. We'll tell you which department store is closing its doors and what it means for local shoppers.
And I'm Morris Jones, setting the record straight. Iraq, intelligence failures, and why parts of the 9/11 report won't be released. President Bush holds his 9th press conference.
Good evening, I'm Sheila Highland. He is accused of shooting a cop during an undercover drug sting.
From the news capital of Michigan, this is the News Express. And in the next 10 minutes, you'll get everything you need and more. And it starts now.
A bullet enters this house, striking an 11-year-old girl in her sleep. Have police captured a suspect? And how are neighbors reacting? I'm Darcy Sullivan, and I'll show you.
A man with a shotgun holds police at bay and closes a Michigan school. An agreement in the case of some MSU students who claim discrimination in a local mall.
Got your turkey yet? You'd be surprised how many people don't. I'm Christy Fair, and I'll have that story coming up.
And the national tree comes to Lansing.
From the news capital of Michigan, this is the News Express. And in the next 10 minutes, you'll get everything you need and more. And it starts now.
Hello, Mid-Michigan. I'm Joe Parker. Thanks a lot for checking in tonight.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Gilbert.
And I'm Craig Demchek. An alleged relationship with a young employee lands a fast food restaurant manager in trouble with the law.
Plus, new information tonight about the death of 13-year-old Sarah Jane Forrester. 54 News at 6:30 is next.
We will have more on those stories in just a moment.
But first, break.
Your local news 1 hour earlier. Fox 54 News at 10 starts right now.
First on Fox tonight, the search for clues to solve a murder continues. Good evening, everyone. I'm Cheryl Green. Thanks for being with us tonight.
A New York woman falls short in her efforts to gain freedom from a Peruvian jail. Good evening. I'm Erica Pearson. In tonight for Richard Rose.
Next, a soon-to-be new law means new training for child care workers who care for infants. Plus, an arrest in a deadly shooting on the 4th of July. We'll have the latest on the investigation. Plus, we're talking bacon. It's getting expensive. Why the price of everyone's preferred pork product is on the rise.
And we're starting to dry out here in the capital city as we take a live look off of our tower camera tonight. The clouds starting to break up, but we still have flash flood warnings in effect for all the areas shaded in dark red as those showers continue to push off to the east. I'll let you know when we'll see our next chance for rain. That's coming up in a few minutes.
Live on News Channel 20, Central Illinois' largest and most experienced news team. This is News Channel at 9 on Fox, Illinois.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Marianne Manco.
Covering all of East Texas, this is NBC 56 News at 6.
I think you do it out of a sense of community.
Now, Boston's 10 p.m. news leader. This is the 10 o'clock news on WB 56.
I think some of the people here today were a little taken aback, but
Karen Marinella, Jeff Bard, Mike Wonkum, Frank Malakote. You're watching Boston's 10 p.m. news leader, the 10 o'clock news on WB 56.
Now, from WACH-TV, Columbia's only primetime news. This is Watch Fox News at 10.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this Monday night. I'm Mike Woolfolk.
And I'm Jennifer Timmons. Ariel is off tonight.
You're watching Eastern and Southern Kentucky's #1 source for news. WYMT Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Hensley.
And I'm Stacey McLeod.
Leading our news tonight at 6, an increase in elderly abuse across.
Covering South Bend, Elkhart, and all of Michiana, this is ABC 57 News at 6.
Right now, a councilman's police encounter. Tonight, he talks about his ride home from a South Bend Common Council meeting and how he ended up in handcuffs and his dad ended up in jail. Henry Davis Jr. has been an outspoken critic of the police department.
The car-bicycle crash sends 2 children to the hospital.
I hope they make it. I really hope so.
A show of force and community policing tonight to fight violence in a local neighborhood.
My message to the criminal community is look over your shoulder.
And they have his DNA, but we'll tell you why experts are saying catching Milwaukee's serial killer is an uphill battle.
Plus, we enjoyed a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Coming up in just minutes, I'll let you know if your Sunday's looking as nice or whether showers and storms will move in with your first alert weather.
You're watching CBS 58's 10 at 10 with non-stop news and your complete first alert weather forecast, all in the first 10 minutes. Now, 10 at 10.
Child's play on a bike leads to a tragic accident. A young brother and sister.
You're watching KBFX Fox 58. This is Fox News at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Meyer.
And I'm Ralph Bailey, topping our news at 10. Well,
Central Indiana's #1 primetime newscast. Fox 59 News at 10.
Bring on the Bulls, or anyone else for that matter. Good evening, everyone. I'm Cheryl Adams.
And I'm Bob Donaldson.
KBSI in Chattanooga. The right news at the right time. Fox 61, first at 10.
A few North Georgia residents are busted for making moonshine. Tragedy in Minnesota causes some crews in Tennessee to re-inspect bridges for your safety. And a runner dies during a road race in Chattanooga today.
Your news, weather, and sports first. Fox 61 first at 10 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kay Blevins. First on Fox tonight,
This Fox 61 Family First message is brought to you by Sleepy's. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? The Fox 61 News at 10 begins right now.
A gruesome discovery in New Britain, where tonight police are investigating human remains. Good evening. First on Fox tonight, that grim discovery is at the center of a mystery tonight in New Britain.
Security at the airport, just how safe are you?
Seconds ahead, 62 CBS News takes you on a revealing investigation.
See firsthand what happens inside 12 different airports in one day.
Plus a big fuss over this bird.
Why is this local man crying foul?
62 CBS News at 11 starts right now.
This is 62 CBS News special coverage. America Fights Back.
Good evening and welcome to 63 News at 8 p.m. Wednesday, July 1st. I'm Perry Swanson. Mailing a Mother's Day card next year will probably cost you an extra penny.
Desde los estudios de Univisión 65, estas son las noticias Univisión a las 6.
Muy buenas noches, les saluda Ilia García. Es 12 de marzo de 2010.
En vivo, desde la capital del Medio Oeste, Noticias Univisión Chicago a las 5 empieza ahora.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo está? Muy buenas tardes. Renuncia el director de presupuesto de la ciudad.
Now, Fox 66 News at 10, Erie's only primetime news choice.
A group of local parents has lost the fight to save their children's Catholic school. Good evening, I'm Brian Sheridan. Also tonight, bad gas now.
From WMFD's digital broadcast facilities in Mansfield, North Central Ohio's most complete local news coverage starts now. This is Newswatch at 11.
Newswatch is brought to you in part by Richland County Children's Services. Safe children today. Build strong families tomorrow.
Union employees of Richland County Job and Family Services showed up in large numbers at the
You're watching Fox 68 Eyewitness News at 10, where news comes first.
Good evening, I'm Donna Adamo. First on Fox tonight, a promising Baldwinsville High School student is dead after a fatal car crash this afternoon.
You're watching KSWB 569, San Diego's WB. Live from KSWB Studios, Brooke Wagner, Jeff Powers, Elizabeth Reyes Weather, and John Hartung Sports. From throughout San Diego, this is WB News at 10.
Well, you've heard of the Melissa virus and the love bug virus.
Your life, your world, your news. This is 69 News at 6.
It's a plan that's been debated for months.
You're watching WFMZ TV 69 News at 6 with Rob Vaughn, Wendy Davis, Troy Hine with sports, and Kathy Crane with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast.